just get us started, I want to introduce our speakers and kind of the pioneers of these wellness series, Alyssa Stanford and Melissa Wong. And they're joining us from the San Mateo County Employee Wellness Team. And they've been fantastic in coming up with and presenting this curriculum. And I will let Melissa take it away and kind of give us an overview of what we'll be doing today. And then between Melissa and Alyssa, they will be sharing tons of resources and fun stuff. And we'll be putting some stuff in the chat, and I will send a follow-up email as well after this session. So thank you very much for being here.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Melissa. It's nice to see you here again. I was in an earlier session a little bit earlier this year. I hope you've been benefiting from this self-care series. We've had a lot of fun putting it together for you and hope you've come away with things you can apply to your day-to-day living. For today's session, gosh, we are kind of wrapping up the calendar year, aren't we? So today we're actually going to go over a self-care action plan. So we're going to start with that. We're also going to spend a little bit of time on mindful eating, and then we're going to do a reset refresh activity and a happy dance activity, which I'm personally super excited about, and then a Q&A at the very end. So, in thinking about a lot of the wellness kind of tips and techniques and strategies you've learned throughout this series, it can be helpful to kind of reflect on what's been resonating most with us. What have we been finding to be helpful? Self-care is something we often consistently talk about with our employees, and we would love to just remind you all how important that is too. So I just want to do a quick pulse before we go into our wellness plan activity. You can use the chat if you'd like, or you could just kind of make a mental note for yourself. What's one thing you did for your self-care this week? It could be big or small or anything in between, but feel free to share in the chat. What's just one thing you did self-care this week? Made some time for cooking healthy meals. Ooh, I love it. I'm always open to recipe ideas. I like quick, fast, and tasty. Meditation. Yeah, meditation really is grounding, helps us connect with ourselves, helps us notice our feelings and thoughts without judgment. I took a walk outside in the fresh air on my lunch break. I love that. Yes, walking, even if just for, 5 minutes, can do wonders for our mood. It's good for our bodies to get out, stretch, increase that blood circulation. Running to clear my mind. Yeah, runner's high, right? Getting into that flow. I used my time to color and relax. Ooh, I love that. Yeah. There's just so much creativity we all have in the way we think, in the way we create, in the way we work, the way we are in our personal lives. And when we color, we tap into that intuition, and it's just a really wonderful release. And exercise, yes, exercise definitely has so many benefits, as we all know. Reading, yeah, making time for reading. I remember hearing at this wellness class I went to, a physician was speaking there. She talked about how she dedicated like 10 minutes of reading right before bed every night. And I loved that, just kind of incorporating that where we can, right? All right, so it sounds like we're doing a lot of self-care practices already. It's really great. Keep that in mind and keep it up. Congratulate yourself for the things that you're doing that's helping you kind of show up in your day to your fullest potential. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen. Journaling, yes, journaling is wonderful. Yeah. All righty. So I shared this template. Let's see if I can successfully share it with y'all. Okay, can you give me a thumbs up if you see that? Can you see my screen? Yeah, thanks, Kirsten. So I emailed this as well to Kirsten, so you'll have this in your inbox soon. If you'd like to kind of, use a notepad, or you can kind of follow along visually, make a mental note to yourself, however you'd like to do it. You can even write in an open document. I encourage you to follow along. So it's really helpful to kind of check in with ourselves periodically, see how we're doing in different areas of our wellness. So there's a lot of different models, I think, out there that have different dimensions of wellness. But at the county, we like to focus on kind of three primary ones: physical wellness, mental emotional wellness, and social wellness. And a lot of times, like one will kind of stand out to us or jump out at us when we think about which one do I want to pay a little bit more attention to, which one can I, maybe see a little bit of improvement in, or I'd really like to work on it. And with the holidays coming up, that could be bringing to the surface different emotions and different kinds of connections with people, where we really, really want to invest in that self-check and that kind of wellness check. See how we're feeling in these different areas of our well-being, where we are currently with it, and then thinking about where we'd like to be and how we can get there. So we're going to do that now, starting with the physical wellness category. And I also want to remind you all too, you can do this at any point in time. So for instance, we're going to do this together now, but I highly recommend if you do this again, maybe like in the next week or two, and just check in with yourself, see if your numbers have changed, or how you're feeling now versus when you check in with yourself 2 weeks from now. It could be really helpful to see that progress for yourself. So okay, so starting with physical wellness, this has to do with how you're feeling in your body, if like movement and exercise, getting the proper nutrition. How is your quality and quantity of sleep? Avoiding cigarettes, alcohol. So just thinking about what comes up for you with physical wellness. So on a scale of 1 to 10, so we're in this box right here, how would you rate this area of your life in general? And you can just write it down or kind of make a mental note, and, intuitively, which number would you select? You don't have to think too hard about it. Just pick and choose. And, I always find that the more honest I am with myself in doing this, the more I get out of it. This is for you. It's your eyes only. So I encourage you to just, pick what resonates with you. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and answer this next question. What made you choose this number? You can write like 1 or 2 sentences. What made you choose the number you selected? And there's no judgment, no need to label or shame or anything like that. This is an activity that we can be really kind and gentle with ourselves. Oh, thank you, Kirsten. I see that you shared the document in the chat. Those of you who would like to open it and mark up the template there. And then after you've answered that question, we'll go on to this scale to the right. Where would you like to be with your physical wellness? So we thought about where we are currently, but now we're rating ourselves on where would we like to be? And, thinking about how you can make it realistic, right? Where would you realistically like to be? And then once you circle your number there, what changes could you make to help you get there? So if I, for instance, circled that I'm currently, say, at a 3, where would I like to be? Maybe I'd like to be at a 7. And I think about what changes could I make to help me get there. I would be thinking about what can I do that's realistic for me, personally for me, not anyone else, but for me, for the next 2 weeks, for me to do to maybe move that number incrementally from a 3 to a 4. What tiny change could I make to help me move it just one number as I move toward my ideal 7? We want to make sure we're feeling successful when we celebrate the progress that we make. So thinking about what could help you realistically get there. And then also thinking about, accountability partners. We thrive off of social support, people who get excited and can celebrate our progress, or cheering us on for the things that we want to do with our wellness goals and intentions. So thinking about who could help you and help support you in making those changes. All right. And again, you can always return back to this if you want to elaborate on any of them. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our second one, which is mental emotional well-being. So this refers to understanding and accepting your feelings, being able to choose the behaviors that follow your feelings. Gosh, feelings are so important. And I love that we've been talking about it so much more these days. It's just influences so much of how we show up in our day-to-day living, at work, at home, with ourselves, with others. Often, whatever we're feeling or thinking influences how we act and respond in various situations. So really investing in our mental emotional well-being is going to help everyone. Identifying stressors and triggers, when you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, where does that show up in your body? Striving for hope and optimism and respecting the feelings of others. So recognizing, those connections with the people in our lives. So, okay. So when you think about how your mental emotional well-being is currently, go ahead and rate yourself again here on that scale of 1 to 10. Where are you currently in your life? Would you rate yourself for your mental emotional well-being? And then once you've circled that number, just go ahead and take a moment, right? 1 or 2 sentences. What made you choose this number? And again, there's no need for judgment or anything like that. This is just information. And then once you've written down some thoughts around that, you can move on to this next scale here. Where would you like to be with your mental emotional well-being? Where would you like to be with it? And what changes could you make to help you get there? And remember, we're looking for mini successes. It's about your progress. And you're just bringing yourself to that awareness too of what's mattering to you. What are you valuing? What's important to you? And then again, thinking about the support people in your life or people who you could add to your support network to help you feel successful in these changes. Maybe there's someone you can reach out to in a text or in a phone call. Maybe it's a trusted family member, a friend, or a therapist, whoever it is, a community of people, any groups that you may be part of who can support you on this journey. Okay, hopefully you've written down a few thoughts there. Again, this is for your eyes only. And then lastly, Once you've wrapped up your last thought there, we'll move on to social wellness. So social wellness refers to being open to deep and meaningful relationships, building that trust, having effective communication, and enjoying that quality time together. We're really social beings, right? Even introverts like me. Our social lives might look a little different than maybe an extrovert, but there's no judgment that needs to happen there either. It's about recognizing what our social needs are and kind of fueling that, nourishing what we're needing to feel socially fulfilled. And it's just so healthy for our relationships, right? So on that scale of 1 to 10 again, go ahead and circle how would you rate this area of your life currently, where you are now? And once you've done that, you can answer that next question. What made you choose this number? Okay, and then our next question, where would you like to be with your social wellness? And in some of these, your numbers might be similar too, and that's perfectly fine. They can be very different or they can be similar. Sometimes it can be really eye-opening to just see it visually on the page. And what changes can you make to help you get there? Ideally, where you'd like to be with your social well-being, what changes can you make to help you get there? I like to think we each intuitively have these answers for ourselves deep down inside. And when we do these reflection practices, we kind of bring them to our conscious awareness. We help bring them to the surface and put them into words, into language, make it visual. And that can be such valuable information for ourselves so that we can really feel more fulfilled, in our days and connect better with ourselves and each other. Okay, so again, this template is for you. I highly recommend you check in with yourself if you want to add a little calendar reminder or an alarm, maybe like a week or two from now, to check in and do the same exercise again and see how the two compare. It can be really valuable information for you. And also, again, encouraging building that support network to be so strong. I mean, that is just it's just another element that really helps us feel successful in our progress, feel connected with others, kind of less isolated and on our own with things, a reminder that we're not alone. So I hope this was valuable to you all, and just keep this for yourself. You can refer to it whenever you'd like, that wellness check-in with yourself. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa. Oh, wait, I can't hear myself. Can you all hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Yay. Kirsten, did you see if our dance instructor, Miss Debbie, tried to come into the Zoom meeting yet?
The waiting room is open, so she should be able to get in no matter what. But I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna take us through mindful eating then. I believe we asked her to come around 2:30 or 2:45. So we'll go into a different part. Any questions before we move on from the personal wellness plan? Do any of you want to brainstorm some ideas together? If you do want to improve your score, as Melissa said, you can make some choices about what the timing of that looks like. You can be very realistic. Maybe you only want to improve your score by 1 point. But do any of you need some ideas around how to improve physical, emotional, or social well-being? Do you feel like you got some resources throughout this year?
I'll just toss in there one of the simple things that came up when Melissa was first sharing is cutting out alcohol would be like a very easy for me thing to do and really, really kind to my body. And that's been something that I've been wanting to do kind of starting recently. So that was a good reminder. And I think something kind of simple to start and ease into it with.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else want to share or ask questions about how to improve physical, emotional, or social well-being? Okay, you can always message us after today as well. If you have some really private questions that you want to ask about improving your well-being, you can always ask us. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. I think I want to do it like that, I think. And then, did that work? Hopefully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your slides.
So I know, so if any of you saw Melissa and I throughout this year, mindfulness came up several times when talking about self-care. We push for mindfulness because, as Melissa said, it helps you kind of get in touch with how you're feeling and how you're doing, but it also grounds us into the present. So it helps decrease stress because oftentimes we're really worried about the future, deadlines, workload, personal life stuff, family stuff, the state of the world right now. And then many of us also think about the past, mistakes that we made in the past, things we wish we had said or done differently, past relationships, choices, etc. So in order to kind of decrease all of the stress hormones that come up for us when we're thinking about the future and the past, coming right into the present can be really helpful. And one of the ways that we can get many benefits of mindfulness, as well as many benefits of improved digestion, is by doing mindful eating. So why do we want to eat mindfully? As I said, it improves digestion. It allows us to check in on whether or not we have physiological hunger or psychological hunger. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But I know a lot of people gained weight during the pandemic, myself included. Weight is complicated, but we do know that, if we decrease our activity because we're in the house more, gyms closed down, routines were disrupted, our energy balance, we're probably over calorie instead of, breaking even with our calories in, calories out. And so we'll probably slowly gain weight. But if it's not strictly calorie balance, it could be that we've been doing some emotional eating. We're stressed out, we're scared, we're depressed, whatever the case may be. And we've been reaching for food. And doing mindful eating can help us check in that moment and say, am I reaching for this food because physiologically I'm hungry? Or am I reaching for this food because I'm feeling scared, stressed, depressed, bored, happy, whatever emotion you're reaching for food in that moment? So we'll talk about that. It encourages an attitude of gratitude, and we know that research shows that a consistent attitude of gratitude helps with our overall mood and mental well-being. It decreases our caloric intake if we are doing some emotional eating, increases our enjoyment, and then all the other benefits of mindfulness on the right-hand side of the screen, as I said, really helps decrease our stress hormones, our cortisol, improves our sleep, reduces chronic pain, lowers blood pressure, strengthens our immune system, creates a feeling of well-being, reduces gastrointestinal distress. And mindfulness has been studied extensively. It's been used in treatment of many different things, including mental health disorders. So, how do we do this? If possible, if you haven't eaten recently and you want to run and grab a snack, I'll give you a minute to do so. I think sometimes it's really helpful to practice this right in the moment. or if you're able to, please grab a snack. And the first thing that you want to do when you put your meal together is just pause. Oftentimes, I think we grab something, especially for multitasking, and it just starts mindlessly going in. It's just going in, and we're chewing maybe not a whole lot, like twice, and it goes down, and like thankfully we didn't choke on it. Like it's just this quick automatic process. So the first thing that I encourage people to do is pause. Hold the weight of your plate, your bowl, whatever you have. Hold it in your palms. Check in on the weight of that. Let it kind of ground you for a moment. If it helps, take a breath, close your eyes, and then you're going to ask yourself, am I getting the signs of hunger? Do I feel hunger pains in my stomach? What have I eaten in the last 6 hours? Or is it possible there are other things coming up for me? Are there some other really strong emotions happening that may have led to me running to the kitchen or wherever to put this plate of food together? And then if you're not sure, you're like, I just really want it. I don't care why I want it. I just really want it. Check in and figure out, is there anything that may have triggered some emotional eating recently? Did you have something stressful pop up in a meeting, in your day, in an interaction out in the world with the public? Are there stressful events happening within your family? Did you watch a stressful news program, read a stressful article when you woke up in the morning? If you haven't had a lot of sleep, if you're doing a check-in and you're like, I just want this food, I just want this food, I don't know why I want this food. If you've had less than 7.5 hours of sleep, it disrupts our hunger and satiety hormones. So you may be feeling hungry because you're sleep deprived, not because you're hungry. Same thing with dehydration. You may be feeling hungry because your body wants water, not food. So you're just going to check in. You're going to pause. You're going to take a breath. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to figure out what's going on. The next thing that you want to do when you're ready to start enjoying your food is thinking about your environment. Are you in a completely distraction-free, quiet environment where you can be completely present in that experience? So make sure you're turning off alerts, your phone is on silent, you have a dedicated lunch break in which you can pay full attention to your meal. And then make sure that the meal timing coincides with that physiological hunger. We can't mindfully eat if we're eating because it's noon every day. If you just had breakfast at 8 or 9 a.m., odds are you're not physiologically hungry at noon. You haven't even fully digested your breakfast yet. You're only eating at noon because that's when your lunch break is scheduled, and you're just in a routine of always eating at noon. And that's going to mess up your mindful eating for the rest of the day. So think about the meal timing. Are you taking your lunch break when you're actually hungry, or are you just eating because that's when you're supposed to eat? Okay. Other things, this is before it goes into your mouth. Kind of looking at your plate and thinking about how this is going to nourish your body. Maybe you have really colorful things. Maybe you have aesthetically pleasing things on your plate. Maybe you have all your favorite delicious comfort foods. There's no judgment about what's on your plate in this moment. It's just acknowledging the look, the texture, and if you would like, if you are a meat eater, you can do a gratitude practice of thanking the life that is on your plate. I call it life for life. So that's not a practice for everyone. Some people are awkward with that, but I sometimes like to thank my chicken or whatever I'm about to eat. And I just say, thank you, chicken, for giving your life so that I can have life. And then think about if there are lots of fruits and vegetables on your plate, how excited you are to nourish your body with vitamins and minerals, protein, fiber, all the wonderful health benefits that you're going to get from that food. And then thinking about the fact that we have food, right? I mean, we were able to go somewhere, a restaurant, a grocery store, our kitchen, And we were able to put something together for ourselves. And that's so special. And that deserves a moment of acknowledgement. You know, we live in abundance for the most part in this area. Okay, so you've done all that. Hopefully it takes just a minute or two. All of those things happen very quickly, especially once we're in the habit of it. Now we're going to eat our food. And how can we be present while we're eating our food? We're going to really take our time. You're going to chew your food. There's a recommendation 12 to 20 times. If you go, you'll get the PowerPoint after today, and there's a website on mindful eating. They recommend 12 to 20. There's some research around that. Me personally, I don't know if I have the world's biggest jaw. 12 to 20 is impossible. The food's like, it's disintegrated at that point. there's no food left. So I would just go out of your way to chew more than you usually do. You want to take small bites. You may want to take breaks to help with the timing, especially if you're a fast eater. You know, maybe every couple bites, put your fork down, take a breath. Like, I'm really enjoying this meal. So delicious. And then think about all 5 senses. How are all 5 of your senses engaged in this meal? So this is how we prevent our mind from wandering about those deadlines or all the things that take up our headspace. Is let me smell the smells, let me feel the textures, let me hear the chewing. Some people hate the chewing. That's a good way to ground yourself. So listen for that chewing. And so once you're engaging all 5 senses, you're taking breaks, putting your fork down, chewing several times, taking small bites, then you know that you're really in that meal. And then you're getting all those incredible benefits of mindfulness. And then if you like, you can simultaneously do some loving kindness meditation. I believe we did loving kindness meditation in the past with this group. It doesn't have to be a formal thing where you repeat these different phrases for a certain number of times. You could maybe think to yourself, I really hope that this meal is contributing to my physical or mental health. Or if you're, sharing the meal mindfully with friends, maybe you're all practicing mindful eating in a shared space and you're all kind of having an individual experience, but all reaping the benefits of it. Kind of saying, I hope that this meal nourishes our physical, mental, and social well-being. And then you can kind of repeat this phrase from loving kindness meditation to yourself a few times. May I be healthy, may I be well. I wish health and wellness for others, or may others be healthy and well. Okay, any questions about mindful eating? The more you do it, the easier it gets. None of us are going to be perfect at this. We're not going to be able to mindfully eat every time just because of scheduling or the distractions around us or what we might be eating. And I think it's totally okay to give yourself permission to do some emotional eating sometime. So, if you're having a really hard day and you've written on your list that you're going to do self-care in a little bit, but scheduling wise, you can't stop everything and do your deep breathing or do your kind of acute stress techniques like run your hands under warm water, splash your face with cool water, go for a walk, talk to somebody. If you want to eat a delicious snack in your drawer, eat the delicious snack in your drawer. But as much as you can, this mindful eating, again, will help you with overall mindfulness. Any questions about mindful eating? Oh, I love that. Someone said it's the indigenous way. I imagine that's the life for life. Okay, hopefully everyone was able to run to the restroom, maybe grab a snack and practice that mindful eating, or grab some water. We're going to take about 1 more minute. and then we will get started in our self-care activities again. Kirsten or Melissa, are you still co-host? Can one of you please spotlight Miss Debbie, please?
Of course, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. So I'm actually going to turn my camera and mic off for a moment so that you can do a dance break with Miss Debbie. She's our absolute favorite. Miss Debbie does all sorts of fun dance things for us. We love her energy. And so we are borrowing her for this series today. We hope you enjoy it.
All right. Hey, everyone. How are you guys doing? All right. So let me tell you what we're going to do today. It's only going to take maybe 10, 15 minutes. But what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to check in with ourselves. Let's see how we're feeling, and then I'm going to put on some music and we're just going to dance and move. And if those were negative feelings that we have, we're going to dance them off. And if it's just wonderful positivity, which I know that you have, then we're just going to express that with whatever movement comes to mind. So there's no right, there's no wrong. I'm not judging. I mean, maybe I'll look at this video and later and have a couple of giggles, but no, I'm just kidding. No, absolutely not. So there is no right, no wrong. I'm going to kind of put on some meditative music just for maybe a minute, just for us to just kind of check in with ourselves and just kind of see how we're feeling, right? So whatever that is, just kind of check in with you. Just take a couple of breaths and just kind of ask yourself hey, how am I doing? How am I feeling? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling a little sad? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling afraid? Are you feeling real confident? Maybe a little sassy and beautiful and handsome and are you magical? Because all of these things that we can feel, sometimes we feel them all at the same time, sometimes we feel them at one at a time. Doesn't matter. Just kind of check in with you. Just say, hey, how am I feeling today? How am I feeling? In this moment. So let's just be present for a moment. Take some deep breaths from the belly. So when you do a big, deep inhale, don't think so much of my shoulders come up. Inhale and exhale, but more expansive. So think inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. And just like that, with that deep breath on your own time and your own sequence and your own rhythm, just breathe for a minute and check in with you. See how you're doing. See how you're feeling right now. In the moment. Not how you were feeling an hour ago. Not how you were feeling last week. But right now. Where am I at right now? Being very present in the moment. Right now with that expansive breath. Let's get some good oxygen and all that carbon dioxide out. All right. So, did you feel something? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? All right, I'm going to put on some happier music so we can get it going. So I don't hardly see Oh, I see one person's camera. Hi. So it doesn't matter whether you have your camera on or not. I like it when you have your cameras on so I don't feel like I'm just talking to the screen, but I get it. So now, whatever you were feeling, so if you were feeling, let's just say something like kind of blah, or something that we might not think of as like super happy or energetic or positive, then I want you to dance that thing out. I want you to shake that thing off of you when I put this music on. Now, if you are feeling really happy and on top of stuff, then I want those dances to show it, and I want you to just, I am feeling it. All right? All right, here we go. I'm sort of watching, but not really watching, because I'm going to dance it out for myself. Yeah, I'm going to dance my own thing because I'm feeling really good right now. You know, like things are just happening, you know, just kind of going according to plan. So I don't have any complaints. So I'm going to dance it out like I have no complaints and everything is good. So it doesn't matter what it is. Like if you're just not, you know, feeling all on top of the world today, that's okay. But in this moment, you're going to shake that thing off. And whatever movement comes, it's the right movement. I'm telling you, no judgment. You're safe here. All right? Okay.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
All right, you ready?
Sunshine, she's here.
Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dance it.
Hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. If you know what happiness is.
Oh, dance it out, y'all.
Happy, I'm alone. If you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't run.
Oh, y'all better dance it out. Clap it out.
Bring me down,
it. Look, I'm breathing hard. I'm sweating. I had to dance that thing out. I had to dance it out. How are you feeling? Yes? Yes? Any of you that were doing some, kind of feeling blah? Do you feel better? Yeah? Oh, I see some good emojis up there. Yeah. Sometimes that's all you need. Just put on a song. Don't even think about it. No right, no wrong, no steps. Just let the body move. These wonderful little houses that we live in, they were meant for us to move them. I know, unfortunately, most of the time we gotta sit like this, or on Zoom meetings, or in meetings, and we're sitting. But sometimes just 5 minutes of just childlike love and joy and fun with no judgment, no one, ooh, what is she doing, or what is he doing, or what is that doing? None of that. Just let all of those thoughts just boom out, and just be whatever that is for today, in this moment. We don't have to think like, oh, last week, or oh, with the future. Sometimes we just got to remind ourselves to just be present right now. That's the real self-care, is to check in with you and be present with you, not always living in the, oh, I should have, and I wish I could have, and I didn't get a chance to, and no. But we can't live so far in the future like, okay, when I get there, when I got this, when this time happens, then everything is going to be great. Y'all better just enjoy right now. Right now is good. I'm here. You're here. We're here. That's something to celebrate. Hello? Duh. Who gets to get this dance break just in the middle of the day on a Wednesday? You know how many people are like, oh my God, I have so much work to do. Oh, I got a meeting in 5 more minutes. Blah, blah, blah. Well, what are you doing? Dancing? Having a dance break? Just getting it off of you? Yeah. So that's it. It's kind of like my time's almost up. So, hey, y'all. Check in with you. Because you know what? Let me lean in so you know I'm talking to you. It's really important, you guys, that we check in with ourselves and we take care of our mental health. Not just our physical health, but our mental health, like our sanity. Things can get crazy, But we can't get crazy with it. So and sometimes our can be just as simple as putting a song on and jumping around in your living room, in your office, in your cubicle, in the bathroom, I don't know. Wherever you can find some space for just you and dance it out. Thanks, guys. You guys are great.
Thanks, Miss Debbie.
You're welcome. See you guys next time.
Oh no, I don't know if I shared the right screen. Or did I even share a screen? Am I sharing a screen?
Reads your desktop, I think.
Oh, goodness gracious. Mm. Okay. I can't stop smiling now. Miss Debbie always gets me all in a different place. Okay, here we go. If we're having a hard day, I got to tell you all, I'm a little sleep deprived today. We had a really big planning meeting this morning, and I got about 4 hours of sleep, so I'm having a really hard time focusing. So I'm going to do every single one of these exercises with you, and hopefully it makes the rest of my day better. Here are some things we can do to kind of refresh, reset. Let's say you either on a work day or on a non-work day, something happened in the morning and it shook you up, and it has the potential to be a huge distraction for the rest of your day. There are a couple things that we can do to kind of shake it off. The first thing we can do to regulate the body is the butterfly hug. I believe we've done this before, but I'm just going to give you all a quick reminder. You're going to interlock your thumbs. You're going to put this on your chest here. You're going to tap one side at a time. You want it to be a pretty firm tap. Your fingers should kind of line up with your collarbone. Everybody's anatomy is a little different, so your hands might look different than mine, but my middle fingertip is right at my collarbone, and my thumbs are interlaced right at the top of my sternum. You want to tap one side at a time. Okay, pick kind of a deliberate, moderate pace. And this is stimulating both sides of the body equally, kind of bringing some balance. The butterfly hug is used a lot for people that have PTSD. And so it's a really great regulating exercise. This is kind of, I already feel better. Maybe that's placebo, but I already feel better. Okay, so, so we're tapping one side at a time, kind of bringing ourselves out of whatever state we're trying to work through. And then once we do our butterfly hug, we should probably go into some diaphragmatic breathing, or to try and make our inhalation and exhalation more even as far as the amount of time that we take. So we're going to do something that I like to call the roller coaster. All right, I think we've done our butterfly hug maybe about a minute, I hope. You're going to do your butterfly hug for a couple of minutes. We're going to go into our roller coaster. So for our roller coaster, hopefully you all can see, you're going to put your hands in your lap, and as you inhale, you're going to bring your arms all the way up like you're on a roller coaster and you're going, woo! You're going to step your feet really, really wide. So depending on your flexibility, you want to get those feet way, 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 way out there. And as you exhale and completely empty the belly, you're going to bring your hands all the way down to the ground. Be careful you don't hurt your lower back. We're going to inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down to the ground. Let's do this 5 times. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. 2 more. Inhale. All the way up. Woo! Roller coaster. Exhale. All the way down to our feet. Good. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly come up. Okay. Hopefully you can do that throughout your day if you're having a stressful day, or as I said, if something triggered you in the morning, go through some of these full body exercises or regulatory exercises to get you back to a calmer state. Okay, the next one I like to do is a full body shakeout. This really works. Exercise is the #1 way to burn off, it's more complicated than that, but to burn off cortisol in the body. So you're not always going to have time to go for a nice long walk or to do a really vigorous cardio exercise class or go do your normal weightlifting routine, whatever your favorite exercise is. Life happens, you might not be able to do it that day. So you want to take a moment to literally shake it all out. So you can stand or sit for this one, but I like to start up high and shaking overhead. And then you're going to shake kind of mid-body. And then you're going to shake as low as your hands and arms will go without hurting your back and your shoulders. Literally shaking off the stress. Then you're going to start with the foot. And you're going to give a real floppy foot, floppy ankle. And you're going to shake that off. And then you're going to switch to the other side and literally shake the stress out of that foot and that leg and that ankle. And then this is my favorite part. Then you're going to shake your booty. And you know what I like about shaking my bottom is it makes me think that I'm wagging my tail. So it's kind of like one of those fake it till you make it. You're wagging your tail, so you must be really happy. So we're shaking our bottom and done. Everything should be all shaken out. Check out our hands, our legs. If you want, you can shimmy, but just taking a couple moments to shake it off, shaking off that cortisol. And then going back into regulation, we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. If you haven't done this before, you hold up 2 fingers. You block off one nostril and inhale, pause, switch, and exhale. This is another way to stimulate both sides of the body. Inhale, switch, exhale. And it also helps us control the pace. Inhale and exhale. Good. Do that a few more times on your own. So the alternate nostril breathing has been studied a little bit, and it gives you all the benefits of diaphragmatic breathing. So lowered stress, lowered blood pressure, lowered heart rate, strengthened immune system. Perfect. Okay. Ooh, I feel good. Okay, the next one I recommend is laughter meditation. So you have to kind of pick what works for you and what setting and what your mindset is and what your motivation is that day. Laughter meditation, you do have to kind of be in a very specific state. Laughter meditation is an exercise from laughter yoga. Laughter yoga is a practice where you get into a very playful, childlike state where you can just completely be silly and yourself and not worry about what anybody else is thinking about you. And you just laugh and laugh and laugh about nothing. So if you don't have a lot of experience with laughter yoga, I think a good beginner exercise is laughter meditation. I'm actually going to grab a timer and we're going to do laughter meditation. If you can unmute, that's helpful. And we're literally just going to laugh for a minute. And you're going to see, based on how I do my laughter meditation, why you kind of have to pick if it's a good day for your laughter meditation or not. It's super silly. Okay. Do 1 minute. Okay. So essentially what I want you to do is I want you to get really, really relaxed in your seat. Maybe kind of roll your shoulders back, shake things out one more time if you need to. Take a big breath. And when I say go, we're just going to laugh, laughing at nothing. You're going to fake a laugh, and eventually that voluntary laughter is going to transition into involuntary laughter. Okay, everybody unmuted. Unmute, unmute. I've got a handful. Yes, yes, yes. Here we go. Big breath and laughing. And done. Big breath. All right. Go ahead and take a couple breaths. Now, it's really helpful to do laughter yoga or laughter meditation in a group setting because oftentimes we have just naturally funny laughs or funny facial expressions and body movements that will trigger genuine laughter in each other. So you really want to let go. You really want to be silly. I am a huge fan of laughter yoga. I mean, I'm also a laughter yoga instructor, so I'm a little biased, but there are lots of free videos on the internet where you can do 1 or 2 exercises from laughter yoga. And if you can do it with your whole office, like I said, it'll kind of play off of each other and it just gets funnier and funnier as you go. But you kind of have to pick what kind of a mood you're in. And if you do laughter meditation for 30 to 60 seconds, we just did 60 seconds, which is really difficult. So good job, pat on the back for that. If you do 30 to 60 seconds, you're gonna get all of the benefits that you do from diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, another way to kind of reset when you're having a tough time is to get out that nervous energy with something tactile. Worry beads, stress balls, popping the bubbles in bubble wrap, playing around with silly putty, or what's the thing that's kind of like silly putty? Play-Doh, doodling, or doing some self-massage. And I believe you all got to see some videos earlier this year about acupressure and self-massage. So hopefully, if you look back at the PowerPoints, or I think Kirsten, you said YouTube, there should be some resources around that, but doing a little bit of self-massage or acupressure. All right, once you've reset, how do you get back into work mode? Or how do you go do what you were supposed to do that day, whether it was chores and errands or go on a date or visit family? And, you know, originally you were just like not looking forward to it. You didn't know how you were going to pull it off. And then now you've kind of, you shook out the stress, you took some deep breaths, you're in a more regulated and calm state, but now you got to get back to it. Well, there are a couple things we can do. As we've talked about in the past with music therapy, or as we saw with Miss Debbie, dance therapy, you can play around with your emotions by choosing things that approximate the emotion that you would like to have. So if you're not in the most energetic, happy state, but you watch a really energetic, happy video, or you read a really energetic and happy story, or you listen to a happy, energetic song, it's sort of contagious. So you're going to deliberately choose an activity that's going to put you into the desired emotional state. So if you're at work, see if you can sneak off or shut the door for a minute and watch a quick funny video, not work-related video, listen to a really upbeat song, and then get the creativity flowing. So any type of creative exercise is going to help us refocus on work tasks or kind of, you know, tasks that we're not super looking forward to. Any type of creative writing, whether it's just writing a couple sentences of poetry or writing a funny little story, any creative drawing, maybe taking that silly putty or Play-Doh and putting together a little silly sculpture. So any creation of any kind, coming up with your own dance moves, playing around with your hairstyle. And any other ways we can be creative. Anyone have something top of mind, other ways of being creative? Oh, you can grab pencils and you can drum out a little beat on your desk. So creating your own song or beat. Let's see, any other ways of being creative? Okay, so yeah, stimulating creativity is going to stimulate productivity. That's that. Okay, so that is it for today. I'm going to bring us back to our agenda. So you have your personal wellness plan, so you can get working on yourself over the next couple of months. We are partnering with Kirsten next year, so you will see us again. But we do want you to take really good care of yourselves in the meantime. If you have questions about physical, emotional, or social well-being, you can always reach out to us. My wellness team's email address is wellness@smcgov.org. You've got some tools for mindful eating. This is going to help you get the benefits of mindfulness. Also, if you're concerned about things like weight, if you've gained weight during the pandemic, this is going to help you with that and through the holidays. We did a little happy dance with Miss Debbie that hopefully reminded all of us to just pick a song and go for it. We learned some acute stress strategies. And then now I just wanted to open it up. Is there anything anyone wanted to talk about? Are there any questions of any kind? And if it's something that's a little private, you can direct message me in the chat and I will answer you individually. Anything, anyone? Yes, I'm going to send the whole slide deck to Kirsten. Someone asked if you can have the mindful eating slides. 100% yes. Any other questions? Okay, just another gentle reminder. Self-care can sometimes feel like one more thing to do. I know self-care got put on the back burner during this pandemic. Many of you, if not all of you, are in service roles where your focus is really solving problems for other people, taking good care of other people, taking good care of our community. So self-care got kind of put on the back burner. And now you have all these tools. I want you to be really patient and kind with yourself and slowly build these self-care exercises and strategies into your work, week, month, or day. And as I said earlier, just like with the mindful eating, we're not going to be perfect. And these are supposed to be really positive experiences that make you feel like you're taking good care of yourself. These are not supposed to be something that you're dreading or that you feel like a disappointment or like you failed if you don't check these things off your list. So being really kind and patient with ourselves as we kind of transition into some healthier habits over the next few months.
That's a really wonderful reminder. Thank you so much, Alyssa and Melissa. And I know Debbie's not here, but that was a wonderful dance break as well. You guys have always hit it out of the park with your presentations and wise words and resources. And just as a reminder, I'm going to be sending out a follow-up email with the resources mentioned here today. And like Alyssa mentioned, the slides from today. And I just really appreciate everyone's attendance here. It means a lot to see each of you showing up and taking care of yourselves just by attending. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.